Hollywood is popular for its glamour and expensive lifestyle, owing to the large earnings of some of these celebrities. We often see them all dressed on the red carpets, leaving many to wonder how expensive some of their lifestyles could be. Many of them do live up to the expectation, having homes and other items that one can only dream of. But there is a small group among them that live the life of the everyday human. Today we have made a list of 20 of these very unique celebrities who have chosen to live a modest life, despite their huge earnings. The last on this list will blow your mind. Number 20. Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman is a full-time Oscar-winning actress whose very simple life surprises everyone, despite having an approximate net worth of $90 million. It is common to quote her as living simply. She avoids that lavish kind of life that characterizes many stars who have made it in Hollywood. Portman keeps her public features quite low-key and is actively involved in various humanitarian causes, including maintaining the environment and animal rights. Moreover, she is also regarded due to the simple layout of her life. At one time, she lived in a pretty modest house in Los Angeles with her husband and kids. What truly defines how down-to-earth her view of life is related to family, education, activism, over material things. That makes her one of the more humble stars in Hollywood. Number 19. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's story has been centered on his humility, especially when the breakout roles of Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World have really solidified his launch into stardom. With an estimated net worth of about $80 million, Pratt still lives relatively simply. By Hollywood standards, he usually runs from the spotlight. Refreshingly, Pratt comes across as humble, and he's never been afraid to tell anyone about his meteoric rise from living in a van on the beaches of Hawaii to the leading man in major motion pictures. Pratt is also a very highly devoted Christian, and it is something that he says keeps his feet on the ground. He also loves family time and doing regular stuff. That he dwells on family, faith, and simplicity, as opposed to celebrity status and money, speaks volumes of humility. Number 18. Sandra Bullock. This Academy Award-winning actress, Sandra Bullock, is known the world over for her extremely down-to-earth lifestyle. Low-key, Sandra manages to keep away from the limelight of Hollywood. She is extremely philanthropic and has donated millions to causes that have ranged from disaster relief to education. Bullock is also a very devoted mother and would love to bring up her children away from the eyes of the world's curious mirrors. She lives a rather modest life in a house in New Orleans and is seen doing most of the regular people things. Her no-nonsense attitude toward the world, coupled with her commitment to giving back, exemplifies humility and helps make her one of the more relatable stars in Hollywood. Number 17. Paul Rudd. Another actor similar to Sandra is Paul Rudd, starring in Ant-Man and Clueless. For a highly successful actor, he is simultaneously very humble. With his estimated net worth at nearly $70 million, he lives quite discreetly despite his enormously huge success. He shuns the limelight, spending quality time with his family. Rudd lives quietly, traditionally in a New York home. He seems to be such a grounded man, boarding public transportation and performing mundane activities. Having a well-domesticated life by putting family first and avoiding most of those usual overboard habits of Hollywood celebrities, the humble approach toward life makes him likable on and off the screen. Number 16. Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey, with a net worth of about $160 million, definitely stands at A-list status as a Hollywood actor. He has managed to remain unusually humble. He is known to have a very grounded personality and loves living a very simple life. McConaughey lived in a pop-up Airstream trailer for multiple years, traveling all over the United States with his family. Even after early career success, he avoided the typical trappings of fame and lived low-key. McConaughey seems to be deeply involved in his philanthropy with his platform, an example being the Just Keep Livin' Foundation, which helps less fortunate youth. His emphasis on family, living a simple life, and being able to give back are indicative of his true character, so he has stayed authentic amidst everything he has been able to achieve, continuing to address gratitude, hard work, and living in the real sense whenever he is speaking or giving speeches in public.
Robert Pattinson.
Famous mostly due to the films Twilight and The Batman, Robert Pattinson has managed to surprisingly stay true to his humble lifestyle, despite his popularity around the globe and his nearly $100 million net worth. Pattinson does not seem to lure himself into the spotlight of Hollywood, but likes to keep a low profile. He is known to rent humbly small apartments in different cities, avoiding lavish spending. Pattinson is very selective with his roles, as he does projects only if they really strike a chord with his artistic side. Some say he doesn't do films for money's sake. He handles his fame cautiously by guarding his private life, often avoiding the many parties or events that his colleagues love to attend. Pattinson's groundedness and meaningful work over materialism are what make him one of the more humble stars in Hollywood. Number 14. Adam Driver. The rise of Adam Driver in Star Wars and Marriage Story is the rise of a truly modest actor. It is such that, despite all his success and an estimated net worth of around $16 million, Driver's head has not left his shoulders. He often discusses his humble beginnings and how serving in the U.S. Marine Corps instilled discipline in him. Driver keeps a low profile and lives a very quiet life with his wife and son. He is also deeply committed to his non-profit organization, Arts in the Armed Forces, which brings high-quality theater to military personnel. Clearly, Driver's humility is reflected in his commitment to the craft and his outright rejection of superficial aspects of Hollywood. Clearly, he is invested in meaningful work and pays a lot of attention to wanting to give back. Number 13. Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is an iconic Foo Fighters frontman and former Nirvana drummer who is, despite being estimated to have a net worth of $330 million, as grounded and humble as they come. Not at all a rock star, he shuns the lux of the industry to keep things simple with family. For example, Grohl lives in a rather modest home in Encino, California, worth about $3 million, amongst other grand mansions that dot his peer group. Grohl is also known for his charity work in the area of music education and veterans initiatives. More than anything else, it is his philosophy about life that speaks of having a passion and living life to its fullest, more than anything material. He keeps his family close and has them in the center of his world. None of this makes Grohl a greatly differing figure in the rock music world, as he focuses on contribution and good works over high living. Number 12. Shailene Woodley. The net worth of Shailene Woodley is estimated at $12 million, though she lives very modestly. She does everything in an eco-friendly way and is into minimalism. She basically lives in her suitcase. Woodley loves experiences over material things. She is also an environmental activist who makes her own toothpaste and deodorant just to reduce the amount of trash. She lives in a very modest house, and her major concern is the sustainability rather than the luxury. Yet, with the success from Hollywood, Woodley remains with her feet on the ground, turning her platform into a means of raising awareness about environmental and social issues rather than reckless spending sprees. Number 11. Mark Ruffalo. Valued at about $35 million, Mark Ruffalo is recognized for leading a modest existence and dedicating himself to numerous environmental and social causes. He is famously understood to live in a relatively humble upstate New York home, characterized by his environmentally friendly outlook. Ruffalo is very active in activism, particularly in the efforts against man-created global warming and in support of clean energy. He donates money to various charitable causes regularly and raises awareness about various issues using his platform. Ruffalo keeps himself grounded despite finding success in Hollywood by focusing on how to use his influence and millions to positively impact the world, rather than indulging in luxury. Number 10. Elijah Wood. Elijah Wood, best known as Frodo Baggins from The Lord of the Rings, has surprisingly remained a man of modesty despite success and immense wealth. His estimated net worth of $20 million could easily afford Wood to fully exploit various trappings of fame, but he tends to lead a low-key lifestyle and concentrate his energy on his various pursuits and passions, as opposed to material possessions. Woods purchased a $1 million cottage in Austin, Texas, not the type of mansion commonly bought by his celebrity counterparts, probably in line with his true, earthy, nature-loving lifestyle away from the Hollywood hullabaloo. Although the Lord of the Rings trilogy, in which Wood was a leading star, grossed nearly $3 billion globally, he has remained down to earth throughout. Wood is one celebrity known for living modestly, disconnected from the luxurious lifestyle and fashion that most celebrity entertainers are sucked into. He acts and produces projects for himself that he likes and never causes attention to the media for baseless reasons, or for the luxurious lifestyle that sets him apart as a celebrity, living a simple rather than extravagant life. Number 9. Leonardo DiCaprio. Though Leonardo DiCaprio is among the richest A-list celebrities around, his life is very simple. Simple living and high thinking are his rules of life. His life is relatively modest, and he spends on environmental activism and drives a Toyota Prius. This further shows why, through several eco-friendly projects, he has invested in such projects. He lives in a humble house in Los Angeles that cost him about $4.9 million. A large part of his income goes into his environmental foundation, with millions donated to conservation worldwide, and proving his being about doing something other than living large. Number 8. Zoe Deschanel. Zoe Deschanel might be remembered for her offbeat roles in New Girl and 500 Days of Summer, but with all the success she's had in Hollywood, Deschanel's life is surprisingly simple. With an estimated net worth of $25 million, she can certainly afford things, but Deschanel prefers to live life pretty low-key and sustainably. She purchased a sweet little 1930s cottage in Manhattan Beach, California, for just $5.5 million, which is almost a fire sale by Hollywood standards. Deschanel is one of the most eco-conscious people out there. She believes in sustainable living, organic food, and fashion with a conscience. Being an accomplished actor and a musician herself, Deschanel was always quite level-headed. She founded the Farm Project for Sustainable Food and mainly stayed away from the Hollywood limelight to spend time with family and create art. Her life is one of values. There are no extravagances. This really sets her apart from others in this extremely opulent profession. Number 7. Lady Gaga. With an estimated net worth of about $320 million, Lady Gaga has built a flamboyant public image but lives surprisingly modestly. Her love of life, horses, and the ocean is shown in the $22.5 million mansion in Malibu that she owns, about her only opulent possession. Gaga is a very ardent philanthropist, especially through her Born This Way Foundation, which puts a lot of emphasis on youth empowerment and mental health. It has been furthered by donations of millions to disaster relief and LGBTQ+ rights, among other causes. Her lifestyle speaks volumes about how her focus remains on making relevant contributions through her art and not indulging in useless expenditures. Number 6. Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley lives a rather modest life, considering that she has been one of those few who have tasted Hollywood success, with an estimated net worth of $80 million. This actress, famous for her roles in Pirates of the Caribbean and Pride and Prejudice, has always had a no-nonsense view of her fame and fortune. Indeed, she dwells in a small home in London, which was bought for about $6 million, compared to other celebrity homes. Really very modest. Well, Knightley is quite known for her thrifty spending. She once confessed that she allows herself an annual allowance so as not to go wild in spending. The model prefers the no-fuss, family-oriented life and doesn't fear dodging the limelight for more time with her husband and kids. It is a resolute dedication to privacy and normalcy, which is very much out of line with the most over-the-top lifestyles common in Hollywood. The somewhat down-to-earth living, considering her many millions, does set Knightley apart and mirrors that there is an underlying craving to still be close to her roots and live life centered on the real things in life. Number 5. Ryan Reynolds. The next big star in Hollywood known to live a humble lifestyle is Ryan Reynolds, with an estimated worth of $350 million. With all his millions, Reynolds barely lives a life that brings typical of the usual Hollywood glam. He rather focuses on family life and business investments like his aviation gin. He lives in a relatively modestly valued home of about $5.7 million in Pound Ridge, New York, with his wife, Blake Lively. He also gives back a lot of his money to various charitable causes, including large donations to COVID-19 relief efforts, proving he is more interested in giving back than leading a life of excess. Number 4. Halle Berry. Halle Berry is an Oscar-winning actress with an estimated net worth of $90 million, but is said to be living poor. She is featured in many movies, among them being Monsters Ball and X-Men. She stays like an introvert in her $8 million mansion in Malibu, where she resides, which is considered cheap in comparison to other Hollywood estates. Berry is known not to be mall-happy, usually being spotted in utilitarian vehicles and leading a life around her children, not under the Hollywood light. She seems to understand the meaning of not spending frivolously, bringing up one's children, organizing their lives, and stresses that a very basic upbringing is crucial to her kids. Berry's lifestyle reflects how she wants to keep her real side and remain rooted, despite the value of the fame and big bucks of the celebrity life. She would rather have it simple and with family than the flamboyant way of the celebrity life, lavishly spending and living her life over irrelevant matters. Number 3. Christian Bale. Add to that the fact that for an actor like Christian Bale, whose intensity in performances and extreme dedication to his craft notoriously put him in the limelight, he may be surprisingly humdrum about leading a life far from its boisterous waves. This is amidst the fact that he has an estimated $120 million net worth, typical trappings snubbed by the star of the Dark Knight series and American Psycho. Bale lives in quite a humble LA house with its value estimated at some $8.8 million, but undoubtedly it does not draw much comparison with the other movie stars' places of living. He was the one who became known for not leading a Hollywoodian life and being a family guy. The actor drives a utilitarian vehicle, and he is often observed doing such commonplace things as taking his kids to school. One can best describe his approach to fame and fortune as a lifestyle preference for privacy and avoiding the razzle-dazzle away from Tinseltown. On the other hand, Bale leads a very humbly content life that is grounded in family and personal fulfillment over material wealth. Number 2. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence is one of the widely known actresses who has received much attention for their simple life and down-to-earth character. With great success in Hollywood, her net worth is estimated at $160 million. The Oscar-winning actress has been known for her spectacular roles in The Hunger Games and Silver Linings Playbook. She prefers living a very simple life and keeping away from the flashy undertakings that many stars take part in. Lawrence has a fairly modest Beverly Hills residence, which she purchased for approximately $8 million, an amount that is considered small by Hollywood standards. She has had the opportunity to express her views on how she likes living a simple life. She is usually found in plain attire and drives around in a low-value car. Lawrence has been considered down-to-earth or simple in personality on various occasions, to the point she confessed her delight in activities as basic as going to a store where discounts are offered and to a fast food restaurant. Only that's perhaps part of the reason why, with such mass amounts of wealth, she remains one of the grounded people in life and fame, turning her into one of Hollywood's most relatable stars. Number 1. Keanu Reeves. Not only has Keanu Reeves made a name in acting, but his amiable personality and acts of charity also contribute to his popularity. With an estimated worth of some $380 million, Reeves lives humbly and modestly. He famously rejects the trappings of money for a life of humility, which includes riding the subway and staying in a relatively modest home in the Hollywood Hills, which he bought for a total price of about $5 million. Reeves is also known to be extremely generous. There's a rumor that he gave the Matrix special effects and costume design teams a large sum of his earnings from the film, approximately $75 million. He did this not because he felt obliged, but because he knew the teams really helped the movie. Besides that, He is given away many times to various organizations and people who need help, all selflessly without looking for a spotlight. You will be shocked to know that there are some world's richest men who live more humble lives than these actors, but that will be a story for another day. We will see you in the next video.